Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Walhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Alhamdulillah. Today, inshallah, we will having a carrot talk event by the expert from the industry, inshallah. Right. So I am Muhammad Zaid bin Yaakob as a host today. Right. So before we start, I would like to invite Dr. Muhammad Afzal Nizam bin Omar Rosli as our Deputy Dean of Research to give an opening speech, inshallah.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, IR Technologies, Dr. Muhammad Zaid bin Yaakob. Can you guys hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh wa na'udzu billahi min syururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. Man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlil fala hadiya lahu. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarika lahu wa anna muhammadar rasulullah amma ba'du. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and very good morning to everybody. Okay, first thing first, I would like to say thank you very much for our accepted this kind of invitation. Our invited speaker, I are Dr. Abdul Azim bin Abdul Rahman from Asia Pacific Product Engineering Director, Steel Case Office Solution Malaysia Sdn Bhd. Okay, thank you very much. Dr. Abdul Azim. Okay, and then of course to the Work Hard Committee from FKM Promotion Committee led by IRTS Dr. Muhammad Zaid bin Yaakob, and also for the FKM Postgraduate Committee, Postgraduate Coordinator, PS Dr. Muhammad Ridwan Mansur, to organize this kind of very benefit event to all our students. Okay, on behalf of the faculty, so we hope all the participants, especially to the students who are thinking to pursue their study in the next level of master or by PhD level, can get some sort of the idea, the benefit by pursuing the study from the undergraduate study to the next level of the master or PhD, can get some sort of the clear idea, clear picture, what is the advantages perhaps, or what is the additional merit, if you can share later. Okay, so hopefully everybody get this information concisely and clearly for their own good. Okay, so with no further any delay, I will pass back to the Mr. Moderator, IR Technologist Dr. Muhammad Zaid Yaakob, to proceed the event. With that, on behalf of the faculty, I hope all the participants enjoy the session and get the very fruitful information from the speaker and also for the session. Thank you very much. Welcome.
All right, thank you very much to our Deputy Dean of Research, Dr. Muhammad Afzal Nizam bin Omar Rosli, for the dua and for also for the a nice opening speech. Right. So before we start, right. So basically, with us we have we're having our with us right now expert from the industry, which have a lot of experience. Basically, several experience since 2000s. Right. So if we count the total of experience, is more than 16 years. Right. So our panel start with the working experience in Petronas Penampisan Melaka since 2000, in 2000, year 2000, right? Then in 2002 till 2004, right? He started working with Shimano Components Malaysia Sdn Bhd as the R&D engineer, and a lot of design work have been done on that particular years, right? So and not stop at that. 2004 to 2008, He joined the Sony EMCS Malaysia Sendian Berhad as a senior design engineer, right? And then continue working in the steel case office solutions Sendian Berhad, which is the multinational company, right, as an Asia Pacific product engineering director, right? So and what goods of our panel is while having experience in industry, he also obtained his doctorate engineering, right? So that's what we want to having experience sharing from him to our students, and I mean to all of the participants, right? So and from that particular views and sharing thoughts and points, so you can motivate yourself to do better than that, right? So without further ado, right, I would like to invite Dr. Abdul Azim bin Abdul Rahman to share his slide. The screen is yours right now, right? Thank you.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and good morning to all. Thanks, Mr. Chairman and Deputy Dean, and of course the coordinator for the postgraduate, Dr. Ridwan, for inviting me and give opportunity to share to the student. And to be honest, this topic is quite big, to be honest, and it's very hard to say that there's only one way to go with this one. Anyway, there's a lot of reason why, and I will explain one by one. And to be honest, I really hope this is kind of like interaction, especially to all the students, because you are the fourth year and you are going to be engineer soon, really close, right? A month before you graduated right now. So you should have a little bit more confidence asking question. I do my best to answer whatever the question and be more interactive, because I think this is you can make it as a mock also, or whatever you want to call it, to make your confidence speaking or asking question. Technically, you will meet the interviewer, the company, close like me or maybe some different, but at the end, it's a people that you have to communicate anyway. So yeah, take a chance, okay, and be more interactive. That's my hope. And I understand, because I globally, I will explain more about my career and my job. And one of the reasons I want to share my career and job, just hopefully to give some inspiration, as well as also maybe you can create a question based on that, because maybe you want to know more how to do that, how to implement that, how to get that also. Yeah, I hope that can help you guys. How is it? But again, I understand. I work in global. I work in a lot of country, and I know that Asia, especially in the east side, China, Malaysia, Singapore, it's a bit reserved. It doesn't mean that you're not good. You're really good anyway. But I hope today you can unlock that. Ask a question, okay? Don't be shy. Or as I will ask maybe Dr. Ridwan or Dr. Arif to pinpoint, because sometimes Asia like to be pinpoint, to feel appreciated. That's a different. They want to be selected so that they feel that they are appreciated. So that's the Asia.
That's right.
The cultures are different, Dr. Azim.
It's different. Yeah, that's one of the different between
So
West and East. And go ahead.
We need to suit to that, right?
Yes. So that's why I said there's nothing straight line. There's nothing wrong anyway. There's always people say that, or people, at least ourselves in Asia, always feel that we are like a downgrade because we are not good as West. No, we are same level. It just we have different culture, but we are thinking that their culture is better. I don't think so. I mean, it's the same. There's a pro and cons anyway. Okay, we go through that anyway if you want to know more. So today, I just to share about some of the career development in engineering. Actually, what's going on in what is the opportunity in some of the company, either it's a global company, multinational, or local company. Technically, it's about the same. It's just some of the company has a different system, which is I will share mainly in terms of my experience, and also some of the company that I know, especially my company today. And what is the benefit if you have professional and also or doctorate or anything, right? What is the advantage of that? So we can talk about that and we can discuss more if you want to know more. Anyway, okay. So before we go to the more in-depth, I mean, you are the engineers now, right? Close. I can say engineers, but they are all done the exam and everything. Like probably it's a month ago before we become official graduated and become engineers. And I want you to know, right? Recently, maybe some of you know, but maybe most of you did not know that engineers makes a lot of the success, not just in the career or developing product or becoming a go-to person, but they are really success as a company CEO or founder. Not just that, they're also expert and also some of the really good policy maker, like president or what. So I want to share so that you can have a feeling. Oh, I made the right choice to become an engineer. And of course, there's a lot of talking about engineers, salary or what. I don't want to talk about salary today because it's really a big topic, and depending on the company, depending on the country, depending on what you're doing, it's a big range. But at least you can see that there is a platform for you. Once you become an engineer, there's a unlimited platform for you to success. I mean, only the sky is the limit. And of course, for Muslim, we always embrace that with Allah's will, which is helping you. But there's a lot of opportunity platform, to be honest. And you can see that people that success like Jeff Bezos, Sundar Pichai, they are all engineers, you know. Satya Nadella, CEO Microsoft, is engineers. This is all the technical. Even Tim Cook, the CEO Apple, he's an industrial engineering. I mean, of course, it's a combination between design and industrial and also engineering, but it's a part of engineering. You can see. I want to give you some idea. Is the world is changing now from the non-technical people running the company becoming more technical people because of the technical people is really close to the idea of the product and it's really focused on the details. So to make a success, you have to really focus on details and you have to be really focused. So this is all the proven, right? It's not like myth or storytelling. It's a proven. Jeff Bezos is one of the billionaire. Sundar Pichai is an Alphabet or Google under him. Satya Nadella is an ExxonMobil. And you can see that in terms of the policy maker, I don't. There's a long list, right? It's 100, even in Malaysia, so there's a lot of people success. But I want to show you some of the big one. And this is very interesting. I don't know whether you guys know, but I want to put, that's why I want to put Klaus Martin Schwab. He's a German. He's actually a founder and executive chairman of the World Economic Forum. I'm not sure how many of you watching economic forums, which is a really a good platform, and also it's a really a good organization that promote about economic, mainly in terms of the technical, and they invited a lot of the speaker, and they also have a economic forum for the leaders. So the founder of this one, as the chairman, is a mechanical engineering, which is all of you, mechanical engineering, right? And he's actually a doctor of engineering also, and he also doctor of economics. So you have a doctorate. So this is one of the experts that really make the policy, make a lot of the ideas for developing the economy of the world in the economic forum. And just to be off a little bit from US or Europe, so you can see that Abdul Kalam, if you know Abdul Kalam, he's one of the really good president of India. That he's the one who really turned over India to become really good in terms of the technical. And you can see India now is really good in the software, it's really good in the even aerospace, everything. He's a former president of India. You can Google after this. If you want to know more, you can Google. There's a lot of Wikipedia. You can just Google. He's an aerospace engineering and physics. Okay. And President China right now, that bringing China to really a massive industrial now is a chemical engineers, to be honest. So these are just a small list of the engineering that success. There's a lot more, to be honest. I mean, but at least to give you a sense that you are actually in the right platform, and degree or undergraduate is not the end, right? It's just your opening step to the real world. How you want to go to the real world is really up to you. Why you want to go to be a success, right? But at least you have a really a good fundamental to step into the real world as a engineering student, graduate. Just some fun fact. So the one that I give you about CEOs, everything, right? If you see the 14 fortune of the 50 CEOs are engineers. I mean, in the 50 big company. Of course, most of the big company in the Forbes of fortune company is a lot of it is real estate or also banking. That's the reason that it's 28%. But if you see in terms of the company that making the product, is most of the CEOs are engineers anyway. And then 7 of the top 10 fortune company 500 runs by engineers. 7 is like Google, Apple, the top 10, right? Microsoft. So it's all run by the engineers. And three engineers running Fortune 50 company from the military officers anyway. But it's engineering military officers. 3 Fortune company 50 means that the 3 Fortune company 50 is a chemical, and there's a 3 CEOs from mechanical engineering, which is I'm mechanical engineers also. You are all mechanical engineers. Maybe some of you, is it all mechanical engineer here, Dr. Ridwan and Dr. Arup, or is a mix? Sorry, a little bit biased, but I will make it more
I
open.
think it's mixed from mechanical and manufacturing, right? So
Okay, sorry. So mechanical or manufacturing or everything. Yep. So it's a combination. And I want to put a little bit in Malaysia context also. You can see that in the recent survey, Malaysia's 50 largest companies has revealed that most CEOs and MDs are from process qualification is engineering at 30%. Of the 30% of the 50 largest companies in Malaysia is background under engineering, and you see that for business only 14%, accounting 12%, and in economics. So engineering is a big part of that Malaysia 50 largest companies running by the engineering anyway. Okay, so let's talk more about your choice after this, but I want to give in the context of what do we have right now in the world and in Malaysia. So before we go that, I want to a little bit explain myself so that you have a more idea. And of course, with this understanding about what I'm doing, maybe you can have a more question. You can better inquiries or asking question. I know that Arup already talked a little bit, but I want to give a little bit in depth on the context of what I'm doing. I will explain in details anyway, but this is to summarize. So I'm a professional engineer under BM, as you know, IR. Over 20 years experience in the product research, design, and development. Since I'm graduated from the University of Technology Petronas, the one that Dr. Arup said just now, penapisan is my internship. So because I'm study in University of Technology Petronas, so I internship in Petronas, but I started working in all product research and design and development. That's my line from the day one until now. And again, this is one of the topic that I want to touch also about local university and outside university, right? Because some people also thinking that, I'm only studying in local, not in overseas. But for engineering right now, it does not matter in a lot of companies because of all our degree now is under EAC, which is Accreditation Council under Washington Accord, which is we are the same level in terms of certification with US, Europe, even Japan, everything. So in terms of the syllabus, in terms of our minimum requirement, is about the same. It's just about you right now. It's not about where you come from. Of course, some companies still looking into that, but most of it is just a matter of what you're doing. So we can talk more about that anyway. I'm from local graduate anyway, University Petronas. So I'm experiencing design, product, component system in various industry, from automotive, electronics, and also furnitures, manufacturing system. As Dr. Akub mentioned just now, Dr. Zaid or Akub? I'm sorry.
you just can call me Zaid, yeah.
Okay. So Dr. Zaid explained just now, I started my career in Shimano. If you are a bicycle fan, you should know Shimano very well. I'm one of the really bicycle fan, and Malaysia won silver yesterday, right? I'm a bicycle fan.
That particularly, I mean, yeah, interesting. Yeah, because about the bicycle, and I going to ask you also about the price of the bicycle as well, right? Everybody knows that 500,000. Is that true? I'm not so sure. Right, maybe you have that kind of idea.
Yep, it could be. So yeah, my childhood is really about bicycle, and I love bicycle a lot. And working in Shimano is like a dream comes true. And I'm able to work in I will explain more after that. I work in Japan where all the first hand R&D and designer designing all the XTR Dura Ace. If you know about the bicycle, that's what it happened. So it's really a dream comes true. But it's really nice anyway. So I can share after this more. And after that, I moved to Sony for a lot of reasons because Shimano is in Johor. I moved to KL. But I'm a KL boy, so I really went back to KL. Oh, sorry. What happened? Can you see my screen still?
Can you
Hello?
share your screen?
It just okay. Sorry, I think that.
Suddenly dia stop lah.
Okay.
Dazim.
All right. Can you see that now?
Yeah, I think.
Can you see
Okay.
it now?
Okay,
Alright.
good.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Then I continue working in Sony. Still really in the R&D. I will explain more in my my PowerPoint later. And after that, I moved to Staircase Operation. There's a lot of reasons. I will explain later why I moved to Staircase for some reason. And with all these three company, actually it's a coincidence, but it's a good thing also. If you see all my company are working, it start with S, 3S, Shimano, Sony, and Staircase. It's a maybe coincidence anyway. And with these three company, I experience working around the world. I working in America under expatriate Staircase, working in Japan with Shimano and Sony. I been to China, working in China with my team right now, India, France, Italy, Taiwan, Vietnam, Korea, Indonesia, Germany, Thailand, Hong Kong, in Australia, UK, and Mexico and Singapore. So there's a lot of countries that I've been working with at least doing a project and stay there for a while for the project anyway, back and forth. Holding a few patents from US, Europe, China, India, and Malaysia. Currently also, I take up some of the extra role, which is I always want to do that once I got into the certain condition, which is try to work close with the university. So I'm currently is an adjunct professor at UPM under Mechanical and Manufacturing Department. We do a lot of the collaboration between Staircase and UPM with certain grants. So Staircase has a grant, sponsor grant, and we do a lot of things together anyway.
Dr. Azim.
Yep.
Locally graduated doesn't mean could not work internationally, right? So you prove it, right? So I think that was really a tremendous experience that you have, right? So really nice.
Correct. Correct. And I think that we can talk about it and we can share if your student want to know more, right? Because there's tips and tricks later, what you should have. And of course, every people has a different personality or what, but at least you have to learn some of the basic how to deal with the different people because they're still people, right? They're still a human. We are so human, but they only have a different culture. Of course, when I started also, especially when I first time went to US, it's to be honest, it's quite hard because they are so west. They are so thinking that Asia is lower than them. Of course, it's Uncle Sam country, right? US, right? They're thinking that everything from them. But you have to know the way to work through that, how to make sure that they recognize you. I will explain it anyway. There's a slide for that. Okay? And currently, as Dr. Zaid said that I'm graduated under Doctor of Engineering. So it's a little bit different between Doctor of Philosophy and Engineering, but it's still doctorate anyway. Member of mechanic.
Sorry for interrupt you. So we have a question from Ignatius Wong, right? So he just asked you, Doctor, what is the way to apply for international companies? Right.
So there's a lot of ways, right? Right now, because you're located in Malaysia, so you have to go through a lot of whatever open in Malaysia. But that's not about it also, because there's a lot of the advertisement even. There's a one more slide that I will show, but I can explain now. So I encourage you. I'm not sure whether you already started or not. It's supposed to be at least 6 months before you're graduated. You should be already create your profile in the LinkedIn, in the job street, in the any of the platform that you can get the connection. One of it also IEM. I don't know whether you involve the IEM or not. There's a lot of the advertisement there. And with this one, right? To be honest, like my company also, we open the vacancy inside the LinkedIn also. It's one of the platform, right? So that people can apply through that. Of course, there's a lot of the different headhunter also, but now it's unlimited era of the social media. So we use a lot of the like LinkedIn, to be honest, LinkedIn. So you should have a LinkedIn, because that is where you can see what are the offer. Even there's a job offer from Middle East or from Japan or Korea or even from US through LinkedIn also. And you can apply if you are qualified, right? There's details from the company, who to apply to, what is the requirement. If the company is an official company, there's a lot of details what you need to do. So I really suggested should have a profile in the LinkedIn, and you should fill up your profile in detail in the LinkedIn, like what you are doing. So we have that slide later where you have what you should do in your profile. But you should put not only your result anyway. So result is only like a first target. So some of the HR, they just filter the first result like 3.3 or whatever. It could depend on the company. But then you still have like a 1,000 same people, right? So how they filter you? So you have to put all your extra curriculum, especially what you're involved in the universities, what you are doing as a part of the project or what. So they are looking into that right now, because the company is looking into the capability of the student, not only for the academic perspective, what you are doing in the universities, what position you hold, what project you are doing. That's really critical for the fresh graduate anyway.
Yeah, I think that's quite a good response on that question, right? So, by the way, we have another question from Nur Akila.
Sorry, before that,
So,
Dr. Zai, Dr.
yeah,
Ridwan, do you have in UTM like I think that if you have, it will be good. If not, maybe we can take up in the different, where we should get ready the student with the LinkedIn profile, teaching them how to put properly, at least before they graduated anyway.
oh yeah, that's quite
That's
good
a good one. Yeah.
suggestions. But I'm not so sure. Is there any, Dr. Wan? Is there any I mean way that I mean the faculty is ready with that? I mean, give them some thoughts on how to create the LinkedIn. I'm
Yeah.
not so sure.
Yeah.
Maybe they learn on that one. I'm not so sure.
Yeah. Very good suggestion lah. Honestly, so far we leave the initiative to the student lah to explore either LinkedIn ataupun
Yeah,
maybe to those interested in research, maybe they going to research game,
LinkedIn.
etc. But
Yeah.
I think if we can have a quick session on how to aid them
Yep.
in especially using LinkedIn, then it would be advantageous to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
According
Because
to
Yeah,
student in
possible.
Asia
Yeah.
Zone, they never heard before about LinkedIn. Yeah, I think
yeah.
your
So
your suggestion
yeah,
is
so
really good.
Yeah, kita
that's
boleh
probably a
boleh
little
terus.
bit different, because if you see in the LinkedIn right now, right, a lot of the student overseas, especially from US, what I see from US, I think from Japan also, they already have a profile and they offer their self inside the LinkedIn for the company to pick up them. So
Okay,
that would be
okay.
That
more
sounds good.
approachable. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's a different topic, but we can take a look anyway, that one.
Yeah. It's a
Yep.
good
What's
point
your second
actually.
question?
Okay,
Dr. Zaid or Ridwan, I mean, if the student want to ask also, it would be good also to see the video, to see their face and the
yes.
voice.
That's why. That's why
Instead of
actually,
writing.
that's true, Dr. Azim. Actually, I really hope that if student want to ask, you can unmute yourself and you can open your video. You can straight away ask the panel because panels here really waiting for you to ask, right? But anyway, I read another question.
Because I'm not your lecturer to evaluate you anything. I'm like helping try to help you or try to give suggestion or what. So no worries.
True,
Tak ada
true.
markah, tak ada markah.
Tak
Yeah,
ada markah. No mark.
But by the way, participants, students especially, right? So don't shy, right? You just can straight away ask even in Malay, right? Don't worry on that, right? So now our panel, I mean, Dr. Abdul Azim is really expert, and he also is, I mean, really have a lot of experience, right? So you can ask anything. I mean, in terms of engineering, especially, right? So, and
Yep.
what you have to know, our panel is a director. So his positions, he hold right now is a quite big positions, right? So you are very lucky to ask any questions that he can share with all of you, right? So, by the way, there is question by Nur Akila. So how can a fresh grad answer questions related to experience if we have no experience other than internships? And how to convince a company to hire fresh grads to work? Okay, quite good questions. I mean, for the newbies.
Yep, that's a good question. To be honest, you're right. And most of the, at least the multinational or global companies, we are all aware. You are fresh grad. We are not asking you to have a or answer 10 years experience question, right? No, we do. We know that, and we also have a lot of expert from HR, from the technical, depending on what position you want to apply for. But what we are looking for is when we ask about your experience, actually we're not asking about experience. We are actually asking what you are doing or what is your achievement or what you contribute to university. So you should have preparing what you've done. For example, if even if you don't have, if you're not holding any position in university, doesn't matter because you still have the project that you're doing in capstone or in final year project. You should show what you are doing in that project and how can you show off yourself that you are able to work in the team and collaborate with others and make a good communication with your lecturers. So if you can show that you are really able to work, even your FYP is alone, one people, but if you're able to show that your project is really a good project, uh, you can explain the process to get that project because getting the result is another portion. We are not what we want to see the result. Result or university already give the result. What we want looking for is the process. How you make yourself good in the process or help or develop yourself or contribute along the process. For example, if you're doing a project, along the process, definitely you have to meet lecturers. You have to give ideas. Can you show yourself that you are able to do some really good discussion with the lecturers, or you give ideas, or you solve this problem, or you able to make a prototype with this one. And of course, we know that there's a lot of limitation in the student in the university. So we want to know how you work around that to get the prototype done in what different manner, right? Because we are not we understand where we are not as we don't want to see that you can make one rocket like SpaceX. No, we know that, right? So that's the way that you are doing. You work around that with the limitation. You work around that, and you're able to complete the project. And how your communication with the team in the capstone or what throughout your student life, what club you involve, that's matter to us also. If you're involved with the for example, Young Engineers Club or becoming a moderator of some of the forum, that really shows you are really outgoing and outstanding student. You are more to the front, which is much easier to adapt because the most critical is for you to adapt in the world, in the real environment. I have a slide on that, what you need as an engineer. So I think that maybe it's enough for now, but yeah, am I answer your question?
I think yeah, very good response. Yeah, now students just start to engage, right? So I think before you continue, I like these questions, right, from Pijun. what the statement is, but all those famous or big company will filter the candidate from the game-based assessments, but the assessment just a game. How come can just filter like that? So it's like all the big company, I mean the famous company filter the candidate from the game-based assessment. So the question, she says that, but the assessment just a game. How come can just filter like that? So what is your response on that? Quite interesting. Quite interesting actually.
Yep, I know. I think that's a good one. Thank you for inquire for asking on that anyway. So there's a lot of ways. I cannot speak on behalf of other company, right? I speak on the 3 companies that I'm working in, the company that I know, like my suppliers or my friends or whatever. Especially for the global company or multinational company, we have a system, and of course, some people say, it's a filtering system. Of course, uh, previously, all the candidate from HR filter with 1,000 application, right? What is the easiest way for them to filter for this director in one of the department want to get maybe 5 engineers from 1,000? What is the best way? You have to understand, right? That's why you have to read a lot of the job street or LinkedIn proposal. How you want to make your appeal or your application appeal, right? That's another topic. But what I want to explain about your question is, right now, it's not only depend on HR. So all our department head, especially technical, with all the social media, with all the connection, talent, even the engineers to engineers, we are all the same team try to get the candidates. We are not relying on HR, only HR. What I say is that, what I meant by that is that there's a lot of open condition, because what we are looking in the position is the correct candidate. So that's why we have to be careful and understand, right? So every company, they will try to find them, or when they do the advertisement, is mainly for that position. Some position is need experience, some position doesn't matter. The doesn't matter one is the one, the big one, because from non-experienced until experienced can apply that, right? But again, as I mentioned right now, even me or my engineers, they able to propose whoever they know as a part of the candidate, because we are in the research, it's proven that if someone refer is much better than the open one. So and open one also is okay, but this is more open right now, right? So it doesn't matter, there's no filter anymore. You can directly email to the director of the company or the engineers also, if you want, if you know them, because we think now that election time, but the global company try to give a more opportunity to the student and to the people now. But you have to remember that the filter system is still there, because of to filter 1,000 application to 5 or open position. But what you need to understand also is, you can direct email or also open up to different channel like LinkedIn. There's no filter, it's direct apply to the system and to the people also. You know, the whoever people that you can just apply if you know that there's a opening also. So yeah, filtering system is difficult to say because some company different. Like my company, we talk to HR. We are not only filter the CGPA right now, because that's not fair to me. So we are filtering some minimum CGPA, as well as also some of the the requirement on that student itself, like the contribution, everything. There's a lot of filtering in now compared to last time. So yeah, I hope I answered the question, but it's very difficult anyway.
Yeah,
Yep.
true. I think yeah, is could not. I mean, straight away answer the question, right? But I mean, your point of view is really good. Right. Yeah, I believe of course all the company have their own filter. Yeah, to get the best of the best. I think that is normal, right? So
Right.
what I believe that maybe the participant students can start to work in with LinkedIn right later, inshallah. Right? I think that quite a good point. Okay,
Yep.
so maybe Dr. Azim can continue back again
Sure.
your presentation, right?
Sure.
While I will
No
interrupt
problem.
again,
No problem.
inshallah.
Yeah, this is good anyway. But I really want to hear the student voice and also video if possible
Yeah,
after this. Okay, so then
uh, I think I think Ignatius Wong, you can unmute yourself and ask the questions that you write right now. So maybe all of us can have a view of you, right? So don't shy. Ignatius Wong, are you there?
okay. I mean, he can interrupt anytime. I can continue first anyway, right? Okay.
All right, sure. Please, Dr. Azim.
Yep. So just a little bit more, 2 more points. So I'm the one of the member of the Mechanical Technical Division of IEM. So again, this is really one of the critical also. Even though you um you're having a good position in future, or you are a company owner or what, SME or what, you need to have a network, right? As a employee or good engineers, network is very critical. So network can be from every platform, but in Malaysia, one of it is is under IEM anyway. So if you can join IEM, I hope UTM Mechanical Engineering Department has the student chapter for IEM. You do have, right? Okay. And a part of that also, I'm the committee, Malaysia Industry Standard Committee for Plastic. Plastic, one of my passion and also expertise. My PhD is under plastic, also nylon composite. So I'm a committee, technical committee for to make a standard in Malaysia with CIRIM, and also one of the technical committee for the ergonomics at work also. Okay. All right. So and this one, okay. So again, it's about engineering, right? I want to make sure that all of you understand and be really passionate about engineers. I think that's really critical. You have to have a passion as an engineer to work, to be a good engineer and working as a good engineer. Um, of course, this is a basic, right? Mathematics and science and English. There's a few slides about what is engineering. I want to share a little bit. I know that you will learn 1,000 hours of every courses, everything, but at the end, you have to combine all your knowledge to make you good engineers. But what you are learning actually is just, as I mentioned, is just a first stepping step to the real world. There's a lot you have to learn, but that's a fun. So hard skill and knowledge is mathematics, science, and English. So I say English is really critical, but we cannot deny that because of a lot of the technology and knowledge is still in English anyway, unless you can read Chinese or Japanese or Germans, Korean, then you can take some other different knowledge. But as of now, our second language is English, and all the reading, all the material that been developed to understand the technology or in engineering, especially in engineering, mainly in English, right? So that's why it's very difficult to say that it's not critical. To me, it's really critical also, because like my company is a global company. We have we exist in Mexico, Brazil, we exist in France, Germany, Spain, Italy, even China, India, Middle East. How you want to combine those countries in the basic communication? So the company choose English, right? Um,
I think Dr. Hazim
Macam ada
the company.
technical problem sikit. Ah, sorry,
right.
Dr. Azim. The
I
video
think
suddenly stop pula tadi.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So now it's okay now. But can you
Now it's
hear
okay.
my sentences now?
Ya,
Yeah,
okay.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So yeah, still in English. So anyway, so it's very critical: math, science, and English. Of course, from science, there's things, thermodynamics, basic anyway. There's a quote, right, from this von Karman: scientists study the world as it is. So it means that a lot of the research things that people observe to make to understand what's going on in the world is a scientist, study the world as it is. But engineers create the world that never has been. Means that from the knowledge that we know by observing the what we have in the world, make use or leverage whatever we have in the world, we create something different. That's an engineer. That's what we call engineers anyway. Yeah, that's a what is engineering, so that you know. I hope. Oh, sorry. I hope you know and you can have a better understanding about what you're working, because people always say that, oh, what I learn not apply to what I'm doing in the industry. To me, is not true. But whatever you are learning in the university, whatever subject, even maybe one of the difficult subject, thermodynamics, like, I mean, it's very difficult. Even me also last time. But you apply every day. For example, thermodynamics, when you do the shipping, this is a simple application. You're talking about the shipment from logistic from one country to thermodynamics anyway. To product, depending on what product you design. If the product is really sensitive to the environmental, you have to know how to make it works, right? So again, doesn't matter what position you are getting when you are working. Of course, when you do the product design or R&D, you have to apply more. But even a different engineering field also, you still have to understand what you're doing. At least mathematics is a basic anyway, and ability to solve the. Hello, can I get 1 minute? Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'm here with you. All right, so just wait for 1 minute before Dr. Azim coming back. I think he have some connection problems, right? So just hang with us right now, right? So don't go anywhere, right? So hang with us, inshallah. So I think I have another questions, right, from Ignatius Wong and Dr. Ridwan as well. Right, later I will ask the questions to the Dr. Azim, inshallah.
Okay, yeah.
Right. For the meantime, right, so um yeah.
Sorry, technical problem. Sorry, yeah.
It's okay, Dr. Azim.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So yeah, the other very critical also is ability to solve the practical problem. This is not something that you learn in fundamental, but you have to learn as along the way. Of course, there are a lot of the technical explanation how to be a very good in the solving problem, right? And number 3, applying scientific principles. So this is the one that you should already have as a student, as a fundamental. You already have a fundamental in engineering, applying that scientific principle to practical problem. So we can, if you have a question, you can talk more, because a lot, it's a too big topic, but we can talk anyway. Vocational in nature. So this is the one that I add here because of 1, 2, 3 is common, to be honest. You know that engineering is, but vocational is the one that always leave behind or left. What I mean with vocational in nature is, as an engineer, right? No matter how, you have to work. You have to be hands on. That's a really critical industry. There's no way that you only work with your or software engineer. Yeah, still have to know how to bug system, and vocational means that hence critical for engineering anyway. Especially mechanical. If you're mechanical, you are not vocational in nature. That really difficult, to be honest. Can you see my screen?
I can hear you, but yeah, intermittent. Sometimes it's off and sometimes it's okay.
Okay. Now okay now? Hello?
Yeah, now it's
Hear me
okay.
now?
I think maybe the internet connections. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
now
I'm
it's
hearing
okay.
you.
Yep.
Okay. So, what are competence of engineering? There's a one slide that I really focus on the employee, but this is I want to have like a general competency of engineering. So you have to be really resourceful. Resourceful is the one that I just mentioned just now. You have to be really adaptive. You have to be really proactive. Open your support when you are working. Right, resourceful. You have to be creative. Creative means that you have to be able to think in different way, not only one way to solve the issues, and you have to be responsive. So it means that if there is a question, because you know that when you are becoming a engineer in the company, especially when you are in the position, or even you are in engineers that working in the project, any project, everybody is rely on you, to be honest, because they will ask you for the approval. They will ask you about what is the solution, what is the next step. If there's a problem, they will ask you what's the next step. So you are really a center of resource, and people rely on you, and you have to be responsive anyway. Okay. I think this is actually some of my presentation for the IEM, but I think you are all dream to be an engineer right now. Otherwise, you are not taking the engineering course. But to emphasize, a good engineer, you have to have a dream. You have to put an action and improve and realize your dream anyway. I will explain more a little bit on. So knowledge of engineers. Oh, sorry. Knowledge of engineering. You have to able to analyze and solve problems. You have to have the ability to communicate, written and oral. This is really critical, ability to communicate, written and oral. Of course, some of you, we say that, or afraid to communicate, especially in English or what. In the industry environment, you have to cope with that challenge. Means that even though it's a broken or what, you have to do anyway. Without communication, you will not be able to translate what you are thinking to your superior or to other department. Without able to translate what you are thinking or experience or solution, you will not be able to show to people that what you are doing and perform anyway. So this is really critical as a knowledge. Communicate either written or oral. We are not asking in the industry to be like a literature, really like flourish sentence or what. Straightforward, but you have to know how to communicate. Time management is really critical as an engineer, because you can imagine that if you are doing a project and the project is need your supervision and also your decision, time is really critical, especially in the safety. You cannot wait 1 second if you want to judge any of the issue, right? You can see depending on what field, but mostly you have to make sure that you know what time and you have to be on time. Able to learn and learn. So this is the quality that you want to have really in the engineers, especially for the fresh graduate. This is comes to the one of the question from the student. How the fresh graduate can be a part of showing the interest to the company, and how can company offer or accept. So to us, anyway, a lot of the company in the world, having the good result is one thing. Having a good experience, expert, I mean, whatever PhD you have, you can show you are really expert in that subject is one thing. But having a good attitude and also the attitude can learn and learn is really critical. To be honest, we we will choose the candidate that really have a good attitude and learn instead of they are like a settle down even though they are expert. So this is a lot of coming, because you can understand that in the world of engineers and technology, there's no end. right? Even the learn is a life journey, right? There's no stop, there's no end. So if you're not able to learn and learn, or willing to learn and learn, I mean, it's very difficult to hire to the some of the company, to be honest. So this is really a quality, one of the qualities that you have to remember. You have to show that you are really eager to learn. You are really able to accept some of the new things for you, even a change. Because like now, COVID, right? If even in the company around the world, there's a lot of changes happen in terms of the workplace, in terms of the project, how you work online now instead of on site, how you can work online efficient. There's a lot of things that you have to learn and learn. So this is something that you have to continuously show and learning anyway.
Yes, I agree. I really agree on that. Right. So the point of able to learn and relearn is really, really good point. Yeah, yeah. Learn and relearn is really good point. So and relate to the questions by Ignatius Wong. Right. I think it's about learn and relearn. So he asked, is there any suggestions for us to get any achievements co-curricular in this COVID pandemic online? And what types of events should we focus, and where we could find those activities and opportunities, right? So I think this is what relate to learn and relearn, right? Can maybe you can share your point of view on this, Dr. Azim?
Yep. Yep. And I have a slide to show about the IR 4.0, right? That's another really interesting
All
topic
right,
about
good.
how
I think we
COP.
jump to that later, right?
Yeah, it's fine. I can answer a little bit on that one. Actually, we all know the COVID, nobody can work on site except if you are lucky to able to work in the energy industry or essential like the medical or what, even the factory for the like related to health equipment still can work anyway. Other than that, you have to work from home. Even a student or even some of the people right now, like me also, I have to work from office even though my operation is running because I have to reduce people in the office. The most important, the people that run in the operation, but I will come once a while. So to answer your question, right, what you can do is in this pandemic, especially there's no industrial placement. I'm pretty sure that you might be the batch that miss the industrial experience, right? Correct? And most of you industrial training or learning through the online or what. But again, there's a lot of things you can do. That's why I in the early I said that you have to find what you can make yourself more marketable. One of it is you in one of the my slide in the industrial 4.0 is about the data analyst, right? And also about the AI. So data analytic and learning about the coding is one of the really critical right now. So you can take a chance to learn any software, even the Excel, right? To be honest, even the Excel, if you able to do the Excel with simple programming, which is we do have people in our company that can do the programming Excel that can show how the chair moving also from the Excel, right? There's a lot of things we can learn,
Wow,
and that's a part,
that's really interesting. Wow, that's really interesting.
right? I mean, that's I mean that's a lot of things you can do. So that's try to think about what you can make yourself fill up the time. Even learning about the basic like the office work, PowerPoint, Excel, Word, is give you advantage when you start working also because all the report is through that kind of platform. And if you're working in the like in R&D or even the quality, even in the data management engineering, for example, like the measurement, all the stuff, methodologies, you have to deal with the thousands of data. If you have some of the things that you learned before about how to simplify the data to make your job efficient, because it's about you, your job efficient, right? So if you can make something that a few hours shorter than normal, that's really benefit. You can show into your online interview or what. Now also it's an interview is online also. So there's a lot of things you can do. Okay, that topic. You have to make use of the opportunities anyway.
Yes,
Sorry,
true.
Dr. Azim, Dr. Zaid, I would like to add about the same questions by Ignatius kan. Actually, most of them are now spending time looking for the job. So while waiting for the job to come in, so actually kita di faculty pun we often organize a lot of training to our student, and we advertise them regularly, especially on our Facebook. So I think the student should take the advantages lah of such a training kan, to enhance their at least information in their resume lah. And since now um, maklumat di hujung jari kan, so we can have all the information from YouTube,
Yep.
etc. So
Yep.
they say if they have the basic knowledge of SolidWorks, then while waiting for or while applying for the job, maybe they can take their own online class by redoing the exercises that other expert had shared in the
Yeah,
YouTube, like
yeah, agree on that.
simulation
They can sharpen their skills through
uh,
online during this pandemic. A lot of
yeah.
online courses, I think, I believe free, right,
Yeah,
happen
free.
now. I mean online. So
Mm-mm.
one of that they can, I mean, they can give their time to sharpen their knowledge on that, right? So
Yep.
points of Dr. Azim also is good, right? So maybe they can sharpen on their skill and knowledge on the Excel, on the simulations tool, right? So might be a
Right.
statistics tool, which is not really used during the engineering courses, right? Maybe a lot of things like that. Maybe they can improve their self by getting online knowledge, right? So I think quite
Yep.
a good point. Yeah.
Yep. There's a lot of ways. I mean, if you want
Yeah.
to ask, we can talk about later. Yeah.
True.
So
All right,
I just want
yeah,
to give
okay.
I just give it a bit because this is from the IEM anyway. What we have, what available right now in Malaysia, at least in Malaysia, globally there's a lot. So it's still coming to the really critical. So I want to make sure that the reason I show this one is because I want to make sure that the student really knows that we are still, I mean, as engineering, we are still have a lot of the opportunity anyway. There's a lot of opportunities. You have to know how to grab. Of course, it's a tough situation right now where some of the company close or what, but still for engineering, there's still a lot of opportunities. So if we are still in this four main, civil, electrical, mechanical, and chemical, by statistic, we are still okay. But you have to know the channel, how to get it, right? And make yourself profitable. And this is still some of the um, area that still processing well in Malaysia. But of course, we have to understand or relate all our knowledge or skill into the IR 4.0, but I will show later anyway. Okay, so I hope you guys feel really with all this one. But if you have any question, let me know about some of the field or what we are doing. If you want to know more, you can ask questions. Because I don't put detail around here anyway. Because I want to go with the characteristic of what actually the global company looking for. I already explained a little bit just now, not a little bit, I think a lot. But I want to emphasize some of it also so that you can get ready and you can either read through Google. Okay, now you easy to go to get the information, or you can join some of the online class to understand also what does it mean of this one. Right? So in the general skill, I think that you guys learn from the school anyway, like communication, problem solving, technical, everything. I think that one you already learned in the school or in the university. So I don't want to repeat that one. But if you have a more question, let me know. But what I want to add here, like a 3 different skill that is really pop out in most of the big company, at least in the last 3 to 4 years, and especially in the pandemic like this. This is a really skill that people are looking for, and you have to be ready. And because this skill can be learned and accepted, right? But before that, I want to explain because I will sure about my company a little bit detail after this, but I want to explain about what's the difference between multinational company, MNC, and also global companies. Because this is always, it's not confused, but people using term different way. And I mean, there's not no right or wrong, to be honest, but there's a little bit differences between global company and multinational companies. International companies, a difference that's common. International means that you are having your own company, but you're selling your products in different country. That's international, but it's not exist there. Multinational company is the one that you have the like a headquarters somewhere, for example, in US or what. And then, for example, Sony in Japan, they have a headquarters in Japan, and they set up a lot of the different companies, Sony in Malaysia, China, or US or whatever throughout the globe. And then this company has their own local people, like a new organization, but all still linked to the HQ, but they are doing by themselves. So this is a multinational company that you exist in every different location. And like Sony Malaysia have their own way because they follow local system or what, but still they have under Sony brand. Global companies is a little bit different, and it's a little bit more complex because global company means that we design globally the product or the service or whatever, and it exists in all the country globally exactly the same, and you don't have like a true headquarters. It's separate ever. It works as a team around the world. Like our company Stick is a global company where we have like I'm leading the Asia Pacific, so I have a team in Asia Pacific that work as a one team. There's no headquarters where in Asia Pacific, and we have only one leader that moving around. Like I'm moving around every month last time to different location. Even my boss in US also last time, they are globally scattered around the world, and the operation also having the same system, same process, and we have the same culture throughout the company. We embrace the same culture, so it's a bit complex, but technically it's a global, and some people, I mean, it's very difficult. Some companies very difficult to define global and MNC. But yeah, it's a new term that you guys can get aware about the global company. When you work in a global company, you have to accept that your boss or your team that you have to work together is not in Malaysia. It's a bit hard anyway. You have to find a way how to collaborate. Multinational company is a multinational, but normally your team exists one in Japan, one in Malaysia, and you work in your team, but it's a multinational company, right? You do a different project. But global company, normally the project will be doing together in a global scale. It's quite complex anyway. It's very complex. So what are the three skills that I really want to emphasize if you want to go to the global or multinational company or even local company to add into your skill or in your CV also? You can mention you are adaptive, agile, resilient, but you have to know what does it mean, right? And they ask you. So you have to be really adaptive anyway. This is the soft skills that is really pop out a lot in a lot of companies. Even our own employee have to learn how to be adaptive anyway. When he or she have to be learned in rapidly new skills. As I mentioned, new skills because like right now we have in pandemic, the skill is different. You have to work from home. How the skill is different, but you have to be adaptive. You cannot say that I cannot work in the online. I cannot. Some yes, they come back to the leader, say that I have a problem, this one, yeah. And it's fine. But you have to have a willing and rapidly learn a new skill, new behavior in response. Like we are not like old timer, like okay, after 5 I switch my email, no WeChat, no phone anymore. Yeah, that's an old style. But now, especially you work in the global companies, it runs 24 hours, right? To be honest, because in US, it's a daytime when you are nighttime. Sometimes the problem they want to ask the colleagues, they have to get ready. And now it's much easier than before. You have to blame into the technologies, not the people, because the technology makes you easily to outreach, right? You have to embed it in your life where there's a WeChat, WhatsApp. You have a Teams right now that your US counterpart or China can just give you the information. You cannot just ignore, right? For example, if you have inquiries about the job from someone, your colleagues, somewhere in a WeChat or WhatsApp, to me it's not proper. It's inappropriate to ignore. You have to respond. That's why I said that responsive just now. Even though you cannot answer now, you should respond that, okay, I might not be answer now. Can you wait for a few hours on tomorrow because it's night time from Malaysia? You have to be responsive. Even you, of course, people understand you cannot answer every time 24 hours, but you have to be response to people when there's a question. As simple as, okay, can I come back to you after my morning time, for example, right? Because that's the way. You have to be adapt in the social media. I know that your student probably more geek than us here, like me or Dr. Ridwan, Dr. Zaid. You use the social media. You use social media day and night, right? So I'm pretty sure you understand about the IG, everything, right? So people can reach you every time, right? People can comment about you every time. So you have to be really adaptive. Okay. Agile. What is agile mean? So agile is an individual that it's a little bit different between adaptive and agile. Adaptive means that you have to adapt the situation. Agile means that you are able to evolve and respond in different way. For example, right, if you have a problem communication using the WhatsApp, for example, if you are not agile, you will say that, okay, I cannot answer you because my phone is problem now. But if you're agile enough, you find a different way to help your team in US or in China for the problem. Because you're agile, you might go to your laptop, open your laptop after 1 hour. So that you have to be agile, and that's agile in your responsive. But in the company, agile also means that in the company, right, there's the technology is evolved every day, and you cannot say that you only can stand in the one technology or one things forever. You see a lot of company like Kodak. It's very big company last time, and now there's nothing because they are quite left in the agile to change their business model. But not all the big company have to be really agile. They cannot wait. Like Sony also last time when I worked in Sony, it's really, if you go to Japan, even in the airport, they show they saw your letter of the expatriate Sony engineer Sony in Japan, right? At least during last time, my time, if your engineer is really been respected, to be honest. Even in the airport, they say, oh, your engineers, you work in Sony. Oh, they will really respect you. It's quite a noble career. But of course, at that time, Sony is everywhere, right? Everything. You heard about Sony, you said, wow. But of course, there's a lot of companies also compete, like Samsung. Now Sony becoming, so, but now they come back because they have to be agile, right, in the business. So it's really difficult in the business anyway. But that's how they have to survive. They have to be agile. Otherwise, you will not survive in the very competitive world. That is a company, but you also, if you're thinking about global company, right? You are not working alone. You're not working in the clique in Malaysia. You cannot say that, okay, this is my clique in Malaysia. No, you are working in the global cliques. As I mentioned, you have been outreached by global cliques. So your performance and also your competency, your competence is being comparing to the global now. That's a hard part. Even our metrics of the evaluation of the performance is a global performance. We have a metric between US engineers, China, India. So you have to be really agile anyway to adapt a different system. Resilient. What is a resilient? So resilient. So it's like a tiga serangkai, like a three same branch. If you're adaptive, you have to be agile and you have to be resilient. So resilient is really that you're able to survive or respond in a different environment, right? So if you have a project that failure, how resilient you are to come back to solve the issue. So these are the three main skill that we are looking for, and it's not like one day to have this skill. You have to went through a lot of the experience in your life, but I really want to make sure that you learn about this skill, take a look in the Google or YouTube. There's a lot of explanation about this one. But please get ready yourself to be adaptive, agile, and also resilient in the company. Okay. All right. So, any question or ask? I just want to share a little bit about what I'm doing, and maybe I hope it can get some benefit to you guys. And one of my idea, what I want to show this one is because whatever you learn in the university is not a waste. To be honest, it's just your first step fundamental. But I want you to know that because regardless what field you are joining after your study, of course, especially if you're joining the R&D, definitely you have to do this one. So you can see that when I'm in the Shimano last time, I'm lucky to get attachment in Sakai City, where like a dreams come true. You see that all the great chief engineer that designing this system anyway, and how the shifting. So this is all the idea, right? And it's not easy, even though you think, that's a simple component. No, it's not easy to get the idea, and to get the idea is one thing. To make that idea realize and go to production is another level, because you have to make sure that your production is consistent and the quality is always there, and how to make sure it's safe to the people. So, like, I mean, I'm lucky to involve with the STR hollow crank. So this is really a new idea to get the from the forging. If you know forging, how to make the hole inside the forging, how you wrap it back so that you get a really light and very stiff anyway. So again, what you learn is not waste. You have to know how to apply that. For example, like this forging, right? There's no books that explain about this one, because we are making a new things. But what we learn is, we know that some of the forging limitation and the process. So we have to apply that to the new technology. So yeah, I want to make sure that you know that. And then this is the part that I designed last time. And maybe you're not seeing this TV with a woofer in Malaysia a lot, because Malaysia is quite average country where people afford to buy the home theater or the stuff. But if you imagine in India or even in Middle East before, they have a culture, right? That's why you have to do a lot of research. They have a culture that they like music, especially in India, and their music is different. And how you to solve that problem? Having a home theater, yes, one of the things, but home theater with a good sound is very expensive for people in India. So the idea come up with the integrated woofer into the TV, so that we can cope with their culture, with the music or the stuff. This is how we come up with the design thought, design process, and market to market is different. So like the woofer that I show in the left side here, with the two tweeter, that one is really best selling in India. Sony never been success in India before this one. Samsung, yes, at that time, but with this product, we learned about India, and it's becoming a good sales. And I got the President Award for this innovation anyway. There's a few patents also. So this is another example that evolution. You can see that from TV, there's a woofer, and now there's no more TV. It's only a flat panel. So this is how we have to cope. And I really amazed, but maybe Sony is a bit late, and that is because of the business decision. That's a different matter. But in terms of the technology, when I went to Sony Japan in 2004 or 2005, actually the R&D center already have the design or thinking about the flat panel, like a paper TV, like a tablet. Right now we call it a tablet. That time there already exists the prototype, the maker, everything. But the problem to launch that is because the supply chain, the technology around that is not support yet. For example, the material, supplier, everything. But again, when you work in like this big company, the good thing is you have a platform to do different things. And also, you can see a lot of the brilliant people that already started to study beyond the time, to be honest, beyond the time. It's just a matter. So having an idea beyond the time is one thing, but making it realized to develop into production another level, right? So you have to get both sync up before you can go into the production. But the idea I'm sure this one is, I mean, try to pursue your passion, right? What is your passion as an engineer? There's a lot of the things that you can do. If you pursue based on your passion, 75% or 80% or 90% of the research say that you can success. And you can see that a lot of the success people also, they pursue based on their passion anyway. Of course, it's not easy to get into the some of the your passion, but you have to work around it. So if you see that from Shimano, I moved to Sony for some reason, mainly it's a family, and also I want to back to KL, and again I'm trying to get my best to work around the R&D. But in the Sony is a more electrical, right? I'm mechanical. So in Sony, most of the lead engineers or even the main technical is about electrical and software system, because it's electronics product, right? Of course, mechanical is very critical main of it, but it's always shadowed by that. And it's okay. It's depend what you want. So that's why I'm trying to find a way that I want to push in the mechanical, more mechanically, where Steelcase is really a global furniture company. It's not only design of furniture, it design the system for the people, and a lot of that product, especially furnitures, we know the furnitures is involved in mechanical, right? So you are really open in terms of mechanical process manufacturing. So that's one of the reasons why I moved to Steelcase, where you can be really upfront in the mechanical. So it depends on what you want in your life, right? What you want to do. When I go to Steelcase, it's really a totally different environment from automotive or from the bicycle into the electronics, and now furnitures. But again, all is mechanical, right? You involve in the mechanical. So whatever it is, you still involved with the same fundamental about stress, about fatigue, about safety, about the process, like you have a plastic, steel, everything. So in Steelcase, it's really involved about a lot of this system anyway. And the other reason why I choose this one, and I want to inform you some of the tips, right? So in your early career, nobody can say that that is the end of the path. Of course, some of you maybe say that, oh, I really comfort to work in this area, for example, manufacturing, oil and gas. But in your life, at least in my career, the first 5 years to 10 years is all about your exploring what you are passionate, what you want to do, right? There's no right or wrong. So for me, if you got the opportunities that are really close to your passion, go for it. It doesn't need to be perfect anyway, because you need to learn. My case, I'm lucky I can go to the Shimano, but still I learn about mechanical Shimano. It's really nice, to be honest. If Shimano is in KL, maybe I will stay in Shimano forever anyway. But again, you have to know what you need in your life and balance that. And as mentioned, 5 to 10 is about what you are learning, what you want to know in your life, right? And then for the second 6 years to 15 years is about what you are comfort about what you want to do. Either you want to be a management, or you want to be a innovation, or you are good at the procurement engineering, or you want to know more about automotive. That's where you try to develop your career. And at least in my case, and I want to propose also, at least between after the 5 years to 15 years, you have to think about what you want to achieve in your life, in the career. Even though you are getting a good company, Tesla or what, right? To be honest, but you still have to know what you want in your life in terms of your career. That's why you should think about whether you want to get your second level of the professional, which is I really encourage, or you want to go for the academic. which is you have to think through. In my case, I decided both, but I do one by one. I will explain after that. I do one by one, and there's a lot of reason of that. You have to think about that in your career path, because depending on the company and depending on the field, that both are really critical, to be honest, for your career advancement or enhancement. For example, right, on the professional engineering, I have a slide after this, but okay, so I will explain it. Some of the company, especially in even in US, like my stickers company, right, they value the professional engineers. In US, all the engineers in US, they are professional engineer registered in US. And of course, in the rules, the professional engineer mainly is for the submission, drawing or what, for the safety building. But no, because that's not only that. Professional engineer means that you are qualified in terms of the ethics also, and also you're professional enough sound engineer to make a judgment. That's why even in US, a lot of my colleagues that having a position, principal or the general manager or director, they have the professional engineers registered in US. That's a part of it that I will show last time in our company, how we matrix the career advancement. And for the study academic, it's really, really critical if you want to be a part of the recognized people in terms of the technical knowledge and also your judgment on the new technology. So that's a counter, and that's one of the reasons why I moved from Sony to Stickers also, because Sony is a good company, to be honest. Even Shimano, they're both good, but Japan also embrace your professional and also PhD. To be honest, the same thing. But for US company, they are more open up to accept what you want in your career. So they will help also you to draw up, and they are willing to listen what you want to do. So like my professional engineers is really sponsored by Stickers, and my PhD also sponsored by Stickers. Anyway, so that's one of the criteria also when you, of course, it's depend on what you get, but I think that there's no right or wrong for you to propose to the company, because Stickers in US, yes, it's common for them to have a PhD and also professional engineer. When I started in Stickers Malaysia, nobody has that. So you have to keep on inquiry with your boss and the HR, because again, the system is a system, but the way that you promote the system for yourself, the career development, is another portion that you have to be a lot of the not only vocal, but you have to plan properly for yourself. One tips also is no company in the world, of course, best company will try to see where your development, but again, no company in the world is, without you plan for yourself, will able to help you. So even you are working in the big company in US, Google, or even like Stickers, you still have to develop the plan by yourself, what you want to achieve. Even all my engineers now, I'm asking them to develop or to plan yourself, right? Company can provide the platform, but they cannot say that, hey, Ahmad, can you make a PhD tomorrow and then you get the PhD and then you are becoming this one, this one? No, you have to plan yourself, right? Every company the same. You have to develop your own plan, what you want to achieve in your career path, and you propose to your company. Okay. All right. Any question? Otherwise, I want to show the company organization a little bit more.
I think go ahead. Right. So yeah.
Okay. So Stickers is a global company. Maybe most of you did not know about Stickers because this is not the consumer product company. We are developing a solution for the company to work better, and we provide the research, insight, consultancy until the product, develop product, mainly to give the company better space and also culture to work. So one of our big client like Microsoft or Google, if you see that, oh, their office is really nice, everything, yeah, it's a part of our consultant team that doing that, and the product is from us. So this is not the consumer product, but We are developing a product also, and you can Google about Staircase. It's a $4 billion company. It's one of the Fortune company. It exists globally, and if you see here, we develop or we separate our business based on the 3 different main region. One is we call it a North America. So North America included the South America also anyway, but this is one big region of the business. We developed an EMEA. So this is a bit interesting. Maybe you read or not. So EMEA is stand for Europe, Middle East, and Africa. So most of the global company, they will put the business under EMEA. There's a lot of reason because like why Middle East and Africa is a part of the Europe in the business, but in the geographic is a part of the Africa is one continent, Middle East is a Asia continent, but it's not part on the Asia Pacific. The main reason is, at least at this moment, maybe in future we will change. Middle East has their own standard of the on the product, especially like the furnitures or even the electrical component. Their requirement is really adaptive to Europe requirement. That's why Middle East, they adopt all the European requirement, like German requirement in terms of the electrical, in terms of the safety, everything. Same goes to Africa. And the other reason also, of course, there's still a skeptical from Middle East because they are so rich. They are thinking product in China or India, maybe it's not good as Europe. But anyway, that skeptical already almost gone now because we are a global company. If you are buying our product, Staircase, you can get everywhere exactly the same design and quality. But the main is about the certification and requirement. They are adapting, they adapt European. And Asia Pacific consists of all Asia except Middle East, and included the Australia and New Zealand. So New Zealand is a part of Asia Pacific. That's why we call it a Pacific region. We have 3 different innovation center, we call it. One is in Grand Rapids, Michigan, USA. We have an innovation center in Europe, 2 locations, one in Munich, and also one in Strasbourg in France. We have an innovation center in Asia, Hong Kong, and product development center in Kuala Lumpur. So these 3 locations have a lot of the factory also. Like in US, they have 9 different factories included in Mexico. And Europe, we have in Germany, France, in Srebro, Czech Republic. We have in Madrid also. And in Asia, we have a factory in India, China, and also Malaysia. But the engineering teams, which is under my team, located in Malaysia, China. We have 2 offices in China, one in Foshan and one in the Dongguan. We have engineers in Hong Kong Innovation Center also. So we have 4 different locations that in Pune also. We have one engineering team also. These are under my team that developing a product and maintain the product. It's separate from the factory. So factory has a different leaders under operation. So my role is mainly to develop a new product and also maintain the current product, doing enhancement, everything. So I have about 44 engineers throughout the Asia Pacific.
Wow, really nice. I mean, yeah, you're right now handling a really big organization, right? So, Dr. Azim, right, actually we are running out of time, right?
Yep.
Just looking at the time right now is 12:40, 12:50, right? So, by the way, there's questions, right? So, can a master or PhD or doctor engineering qualification help fresh graduate to secure better job and be competitive against those with working experience? What is your opinion on that?
Yes, they are. So to be honest, right, I want to explain this one. So what is the difference? I think I already explained last time. What is a professional engineer? What is a doctor PhD? What is a engineer? So this is what we need to understand, right? Professional engineers is really makes you qualify with the integrity and ethical to proven that your competency as an engineer to make a judgment. So you are really required to be a professional engineer to me. If you are in the line of engineering working, you need to get a professional engineer. Doesn't matter you are in the maintenance, product developments, or procurement or whatever, as long as you are practice engineering, I really suggest you to proceed the professional engineer. I mean, we can talk more in a different case, professional engineer, but that's a big part of it. And you see here, even though it's a licensed professional engineer under Michigan, there's a my name here that they recognize, even though I'm from Malaysia. So that show that you are competent to make a judgment. PhD or master or PhD, you further in terms of your study, is really critical for you to make you an expert in the strong fundamental and the systematic ways to approach new innovation and research. Most of the company that doing a research and product development, they are really looking on this one also. And I think that there's a really a viral right now. There's a one student from MRSM last time, Fakira, right, that working in Tesla right now. You see what her qualification? She has a master, then work in the Tesla, right? It's not so it's really depend on the company, but it depends what you want also. If you want to work in that kind of company and environment, even like Staircase, you want to go into our product development R&D, your second degree, tier 3 degree, the postgraduate is really matters also. And you can see in our company, a lot of the researcher also, we have a lot of the doctor in our company, even our material management and material scientists also, we have a material scientist that study the material, is all doctorate. Anyway, in Staircase. So if you want to work in a big company like Staircase or US company, mainly US company, this a part of their consideration anyway. You got a master, it's an extra point, to be honest. And this is a fun fact. I want to show you the fun facts because you asked about this one, right? 16% of position at Google required doctoral position. So this is, I want to show that the big company like Google, right? So everybody knows Google. So you know that 16% of the Google position in Google, they require a doctoral position, to be honest, right? If they are having 100,000 employees around the world, 60% it means for, right? 160,000, sorry, 16,000 employees. It's a lot. And it's a lot of company here. I just showed the big company. There's a lot of list of a company, right? But you see here, a lot of big company, there's a PhD. They accept PhD. They accept master also. So to answer your question, yes. But you have to remember, when you do a PhD and master, you have to make sure that you do in the correct project and research based on what you want to do in your career. You cannot just simply doing it. Why I choose a nylon plastic? Because I'm working with the designing the plastic everywhere. And plastic is one of the new engineering material that really a new things where it evolved from the metal last time. All the furniture's metal last time, especially the seating. Now we move to plastic because Tiki is the first one that designed the plastic for seating. So that's the reason. But take a look what you want to do. You have to get the correct project for your industry. And I suggest that, of course, this is up to you guys. In my career, I pursue a professional first, then the study. Because I want to make myself competent first as an engineer, and then I want to go in the product development, more in the product development into the chief engineers level. So that's why I go for PhD instead of MBA. Even right now also, if you're not don't have the MBA also, you can be a CEO also anyway. It's more about how you adapt. But being a PhD or professional engineer makes you more competent to be in the technical level. If you want to be the chief engineer or director of the engineering in the global company, that's what they're looking for in the competency, right? Among 200 good engineers, brilliant engineers, how they want to choose you, right? There must be a criteria. But I have to shortcut this. There's a lot of the things that I feel like it's really short time now. I want to show this one. So this is some of the metrics. Even I'm pretty sure a lot of the big company, even Google, do the same. So in our company, you can choose two different paths. One is a people leader or technical leader. But for me, I go for both paths because you want to be a director engineering and also chief engineer. But you can see in our metric, this is a simple metric. In Staircase, The metric is included years, your level of formal technical education. See that if you're a PhD, you get the full marks of the metrics to be a next level. And even there is a professional engineers also in the metrics. So in the global company that having a good system, you need to have the balance between the education, professional, and of course your main weightage is from your innovation. This is you cannot run, right? Even though you have a PhD, but you are not contribute enough in the company, you cannot go anywhere also. So you have to have the proven as an engineer. So what I suggest is you need to become a good in the company, you have to have a good track. You have to involve in the high profile project. So if you see in the staircase, if you Google staircase, you see about the main project in staircase like the chair gesture. You can see some of the different seat chair where we use a carbon fiber. All the project I involve and I contribute some of the patterns. So no matter how, you have to be contribute into what the company success. That's how you develop your career. At the same time, in the big company also, there we consider your level of education and also professional. So again, should be open up your eyes, right? If you're thinking that you have a good project from a master, go for it because it's good. But of course, the timing is critical, and the timing is the one that I cannot say that what is the best time for you. But if you ask my opinion, based on my experience, I will work for a while to understand what is the requirement in the industry, and then pursue for the professional at the same time with your education, because you know more about what is the gap in technology in the industry. That's what you should target for. But if you already work in the company in the internship and you know that some of the gap and you have a good linkage with the industry, you can do master now or PhD now also. It's okay. But again, there's no right or wrong in the timing, but you have to know what you want in your life. You have to plan properly. Okay. But definitely to answer your question, definitely PhD or master and even professional engineer is really, really helps on your career advancement anyway. And for the last, I want to highlight this one because you have to understand, right? So we are in the Industrial Revolution 4.0. This is a big topic. I think that I talked to the UTM last time also. Last time Ridwan and Zaid in the manufacturing department about this one in details.
Yeah.
If you take a look on this one, right, what you need to get ready as a future employee, right? You have to know that. And with this one, of course, we don't have enough time to go through detail. It's come into the 3D forces or these three criteria. So you have to know that about automation. Automation is really critical in your future work. When I say automation, it's not only about robotic or what, right? It's about the system also. And you know that how to automate your design, how to automate your thinking process, how to automate your data analysis. It's a part of it also. And one of it is, I just give a very basic example. Even Excel, if you can program that, it's a one of the automation of your work also. You imagine that you need to design something big, you have like a 1,000 input. How you want to make a decision? If you're able to do like me, if I do all the programming to calculate the sigma to decide some of the data, that's help your judgment. That is a part of automation. That's why I say that automation is from robotic, from mechatronic, from your system also. And Python, people talk about Python right now. It's a part of it also. So you have to learn various of the skill, and don't worry about now because you have to willing to learn and learn even after you're working. You cannot say that you are ready now as a graduate, right? You have to keep on learning. Globalization, you cannot run from this one. Every company have to be survived in global, right? Because the policy is global. There's a lot of the global policy. There's a lot of the global company. When I say global, you have to accept that you have to work in the different people in different country, and you have to accept also people come to your country to work also. So what does it mean is that you are like a lot of competition right now. And how to make yourself outstanding from the different competition, that's why I said you have to equip yourself not only skill with your degree and also your professional, right? In future, even right now also, if you read about the ASEAN AFTA, right? Professional engineer can work in the AFTA country. You can sign off. You can go to Thailand or Indonesia to do that, and they can come to your country also. If you're not doing that, you're left behind, right? So you have to accept that global is where you have to make yourself more competence in the global. The last thing is about collaboration. This is really critical, and collaboration is a big word. And below that is about communication. It's all about your agile, adaptive. You have to know in the future world, especially in engineering, collaboration is a part of the new way of working, where you have to collaborate to get the ideas, to discuss. You are not doing yourself anymore. As I mentioned, right, when you work in the global company, when you do a global design project, you have to collaborate globally. Or even the small Asia Pacific, you have to collaborate between Malaysia, Hong Kong, China, India, right? And I know that our nature is a bit reserved, which is okay in the some sense, but in terms of to make yourself more appealing and visible to the organization, you cannot be reserved. You have to be upfront. You have to talk upfront. That's another topic to talking that. You can ask me anyway. Yep, I think that's all I want. I think there's a lot of things, but I think I end here. I want to reserve for the question. I think I can spend under 15 minutes more if you want for the question. But yeah, this is another big topic about the interview. I think that I just wait for the question anyway. I don't want to waste time. Maybe better to have a communication in question.
Yeah, thank you, Ayah Dr. Azim, about your amazing presentation and sharing sessions. Right, so for me, I think it's really good input. And also we have several questions. Before, right. So now I can open the questions from the participants, and you can unmute yourself and you can on your video to ask a question straight away to our director.
Yep,
Right,
that'll be good. Just to let you
is
know,
there
I only have until 1:20. I have stopped to have another meeting. But I'm okay until 1:20. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Noted
good.
on that one. Right. So we have just around another 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. Open to the participants. Is there any questions? Don't shy to ask.
Maybe you have to pinpoint Dr. Ridwan or Dr. Zaid because they want to be appreciated.
Actually,
Okay.
Dr. Azim, actually, I have a question for you, right? So, I just put my shoes. My shoes in yours, right? So I'm thinking of. I'm sorry. I just put my shoes in the student's shoes, right? So I'm just thinking of how you plan yourself and how you manage yourself. I mean, from since starting from the beginnings of your graduate since 2000, right? So until now, what you reach, what you achieve, and a lot of achievements that you gain, right? So, can you share a little bit with students from the really deep beginning? So how you gain all of that, and how you plan, and how you schedule yourself, and how you manage, and how you sacrifice, and how you handle all of the tasks given, right? So I think that's quite really challenging, right? It's not really easy.
Right.
It's not really easy
Yeah.
task, right? So maybe you can share your experience on that. Thank you.
Sure. That's a good question, but that is a 20 years of answer question, right? It's a long answering question, but I can summarize that. No worries.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I think that if you heard to anybody, especially people that more success, there's a lot of people more success than you can see out there anyway. There's a really a lot. I'm one of the things I'm lucky because you know that in your life, right? As I mentioned just now, in your first 5 years, you have to work. You have to experiment yourself. To be honest, there's no right way. Which company you can go. Sometimes in Malaysia, you have a very limited, you have to accept whatever you have, right? But the most important is whatever company you join, the criteria is you have to have the good mentor. That's very critical. You have to choose your mentor. Your mentor doesn't mean or doesn't need to be your superior or boss anyway. It could be your boss, it could be your friends, it could be your colleagues also somewhere, or you can approach other people outside also through LinkedIn also, whatever, right? That's a really easy to get the opinion right now in the very open social media. So what I do is I really have to, yeah, I really have a passion on the product development. That's why I pursue to that. But without a good mentoring, it's very difficult. So when I say mentoring is I follow the system and you have to read also a lot of the book also. I follow the concept of 70, 20, and 10. I don't know whether anybody of you knows about this one. This is the system that our company using also, that the one that I'm using for my life and I use for my engineers also. 70% means that you have to gain as much experience anyway. Nothing can compare of your on-job training. So 70% of your career development or what you need to develop yourself, what you want to know about what you're doing is from your on-job training. So that's why you have to be vocational in the nature, as I mentioned just now. You have to experiment yourself in the first 5 years. On-job training is the best tools. Nothing can compare. If you see that you can go a lot of training or whatever to get that knowledge, no. On-job training is a 70% of your career development and knowledge. And 20% is about your mentoring. So you have to find a good mentor. In my life, I have a lot of good mentor. In Stickers, I have like a 7 or 8 mentor in different field. Even one of the sales people, the good sales people is my mentor into communication also. That's why, because I want to learn how to present some of the product. And you know that when you are in this level, you want to have a satisfaction where you want to present yourself the introduction of the product instead of the sales or marketing. So I did that now, not before. So again, you have to know what's your mentor and what you want to do. And your mentor also, student can be your lecturer also right now to understand about some, I mean, don't lose contact with your lecturer also. They are, even you're working, because that could be your mentor in terms of academic or what. Because sometimes you start the calculation, you can ask Dr. Ridwan, right? He can calculate for you. Anyway, what I say is that you need to have a good mentor. 20% of your development success is from the good mentoring. And 10% is what? It's about your training. So that's why people say, oh, I want to go training. Every people last time when I met, I said my engineer, oh, can I go to this training? Can I go to training? I said that, you know that training is only 10%. If you're not doing the training also, you still have a 90% and you still can get A, right? But again, of course, I don't deny that. I mean, of course, it's undeniable that 10% is very critical for you to be becoming between the excel and non-excel. So training is still important, but 70% on-job training, 20% mentoring, 10% is formal external training. How I plan? I mean, of course, it's not easy. You have to take your time, right? And you have to be patient. Like, I know that to get the professional also, it's not like you can say, oh, after 3 years, can I apply? You have to be patient, right? Depending on what you're doing. If you're lucky, you go for the design and your company has a PE to sign you, you're lucky. You can get 3 years or 4 years. For my case, I have to go a very far route because I don't have Sony has no PE because it's a Japan company, not in Malaysia. And even I got a PE during I work in Stickers because Stickers support me and I have to use a logbook scheme. So you have to be really agile and patient when you want to pursue. Sometimes 10 years also or 15 years also doesn't matter, right? This is a part of your long life journey. It's not like don't be too rush for everything because the most important for you to get the fundamental. So I got my PE after I almost 10 years of working. And then my PhD after 16 years of working. Yeah, now it's my 20 years. So you need to have a fundamental, right? If you don't have a fundamental, you want to do further study or you want to go for professional, you might not be competent enough anyway. That's my advice and my experience.
Yeah, thanks. Really short and precise. I mean, a good response. Anyway, right. So we are really running out of time, but we have several questions. I don't know if I ask the question, maybe you can
Sure.
really answer it shortly or
Yeah, shortly.
I
I
don't know.
can answer very short. It depends on
Yeah,
the question.
okay. Yeah, there's three. Very simple, I think. But
Okay.
I just want to entertain our student. Right. So the first questions, your opinion on R&D in Malaysia compared to the overseas. That's the one. The second one, is that institution we choose for master and PhD is that important? Right? And the last one, this I think quite common, but quite interesting. Is gender a major factor for a particular job? I mean, especially in engineering. So that's why I just you can, if you can just
Okay.
shortly answer this one, should be okay. And after that, I will wrap up, inshallah. Thank you, Dr. Azim.
Okay. Yeah, the first question is about sorry, it's about what again?
About the designs, I mean, R&D between overseas and
Yeah.
Malaysia.
Yeah, of course. In reality, right? Of course, we are not like US or Japan. I mean, we know that, right? We know that, and then, but you should not compare that. That's the reason you should compare that. And if you have to think about what you can contribute to the country, and you should do whatever you can. For example, right? When I started Sticky has no R&D in Malaysia. We only support US. We only do whatever been told because we don't know anything, right? We are not being developed in that way in Malaysia for thinking innovator. But you have to take up yourself to say that you need to do that now. So you have to do by yourself. You have to plan yourself. Of course, you have to be patient. If you work in the company that do not have a R&D yet, that can trust you, you need to make sure that they trust you and know your capability, then you can do by yourself. So right now, at least in Asia, even the whole Asia last time is not of course, everything controlled in US, but now they're able to get Asia by ourselves to develop what we need in our market. So you have to do yourself and prove yourself anyway. And the second is about the third one is about gender, right? What's the second one?
The second one is about is that the institute that you choose for master or PhD is really important?
Okay. Maybe last time yes, but now no more. So of course, some company, as I mentioned just now, some companies still looking at that, but to me it's no. The most important, what is your project? Because we need to know your content. If you are from MIT also, but you're not doing the correct project with the really impact project, I mean, how can it relate to the company, right? So because they want to pay you more because you are PhD, but you need to make sure that you have the good project. To me, it doesn't reflect so much as long as you have a good project that relates to the industry. Of course, some companies still looking at that anyway. And the last about gender.
And the final one about the gender, yeah.
So gender is very, very big topic right now. Globally, we are really emphasized on the DEI, where they call it a diversity, equality, and also inclusion. And this is not problem in Malaysia; it's problem all over the world. And if you see in the US, it's much worse. Last time between the black people, female, everything. There's a lot of things. That's why they really push for the diversity, equity, and also inclusion right now. And of course, in Malaysia is really pushed forward now. Yes, I don't deny that some company is still having that kind of mindset. It's not really open in terms of the diversity, equity, and also inclusion. But yes, you have to know how to pitch anyway. But at least for American company or for some other company, I don't think it's matter anymore. In fact, this is very interesting. If I got 1 or 2 minutes more, because when I worked in US before, having used to interview people in Malaysia, like asking your name, your family, your even some of the personal stuff. In US, when you want to interview people, my HR, because my first time at that time, she already trained me. She said that no, in US, you are not allowed by legal to ask the personal question because they do not want that will be influence your judgment. For example, right? You will ask the woman, hey, you have a family? Yeah, I'm married. I have 3 kids. And then your brain start to think, can she do because she have 3 kids? That in US, that lady can sue back the company, say that that judgment may be influenced by this one. But of course, it's a complex than you thought anyway. But it's quite interesting where even right now also in Malaysia, because I used to that now, because we're a global company, we are not asking about that particular unless you want to share, because we try to make sure that we don't bias on that kind of scenario, right? Because we need to give equal opportunity to people. That's something that interesting that I learned when I hire people in US anyway.
Wow, that's quite interesting. Yeah, I also
Even the age, right? The age. Even though you're a man, if you are age like 50 and 25, some people will say, oh, why I take the old guy? I take the young guy better for the company. That one also is not supposed to be considered in
all of that sensitive word, right? Sensitive key.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Menarik.
So by the way,
Yeah.
I think yeah, this is really amazing presentation, sharing sessions, output and input from you, right? And I don't know, I quite speechless. So your tremendous experience that you share with us, I really important. I really I mean. Give an impact to the participant, hopefully, right? So firstly, I try to wrap up, right? So the most important thing, the features of the student that they should have, actually the adaptive, the agile, the agility, and then the resilience. I think that three important things that the students need to have. I mean, before they start. I mean, start working, right? So and also need to know that the future works more or less more to the IR 4.0, focus on the automations, globalizations, and collaborations, right? So things that could need to look further, right? So and don't forget, I think one thing is that for students that maybe a first time for you, but you can start looking on LinkedIn, right? So I think that's quite good, yeah, input, right? So I think that's all by today. I really appreciate Dr. Abdul Azim about your time, right? I know you're having your next discussions with your colleague after this, right? So on behalf of the faculty, I really appreciate on your time, right? So and on your sharing. Inshallah, maybe I don't know. Maybe in future we will have another sessions. I don't know, right? So
Yeah,
maybe we can arrange
definitely.
one. Inshallah, right? So this
Thank
is
you.
really good input. Okay.
Uh,
So
so is it one group photo session maybe
yeah.
for Facebook? Facebook.
Before I forget, right? So don't off yet, right? So please, all the participants, could you on your video, right? So and we can have the photo session right now. All right. Syafiqah Ghafur, Abdul Muhaimin, Amira Nasuha, Azri Cheong, Dev. Please.
Yeah, feature engineers.
All the features engineers, engineer to be, inshallah.
Yeah, good luck anyway.
Right. So I don't have all of you open your video, right? So please on your video, just a few minutes.
Dr. Azim, mana tahu ada resume sampai ke steel case ke?
Nando Gabriel, Muhammad Adian Shah,
No
please.
problem. Because last time I think there's a few people from UTM also working with us, and I think last time also internship, but mainly for manufacturing last time, not mechanical.
Right.
I see.
So
Okay,
maybe
okay.
you need to open your video because maybe Dr. Azim want to recognize you. So maybe later when you have an interview, so he recognize you, right? So, all right. I think Okay. I will take two shots. Because I have to screen, right. Right.
Alright.
Okay. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Another one. 1, 2, and 3. All right. Screenshot done.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you,
Alhamdulillah.
guys.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
So,
Good luck.
by the way, Dr. Azim, thank you very much. Right. So, for students, wait for a while. I have just a few minutes, 1 or 2 minutes, to share with you. Right. So, thank you, Dr. Azim.
Oh.
Right. Okay. I just for student, I just have attendance list with you and some promotions. In 20th. This is the one. Hold on. All right. So for all students, for the year students, inshallah on 20th August 2021, right at 4 p.m. we will having the postgraduate talk, right? Pursuing MNC and PhD in FKM UTM, inshallah. So maybe you can share this with your colleague, with your friends later, right? Inshallah. Right. So by the way, thanks for coming. Thanks for having your time with us. I really appreciate that. Right. So I couldn't repay that. Right. Only Allah can repay that one. Right. Thank you very much. So this is attendance list that you can fill up. Inshallah. Hold on. I give you the attendance list.
Dr. Zaid, Dr.
Yep.
Azhar, I think the session is macam too short lah pula Macam ada banyak benda lagi
Yeah, I think so. Sebab yalah. The engagement is really good. Okay. For the participant, I just send the Google Forms for the attendance. You just can fill up the attendance just for our record. And yeah, about the recorded, I will post it. I will record. I will convert it in YouTube and post it in Facebook, inshallah. And you can have a record back again. Yeah, Ignatius Wong, yeah. Yeah, noted that. Yeah, said can hear more from the actor, yeah. Because he also busy. He have the next meeting 1:15 actually during the lunchtime to 2:15. Right, so but luckily we have quite numbers of hours. I mean, almost two hours we having a session with him, right?
Dr. Afzal mungkin ada nak closing ke untuk
Yeah,
semua participant?
for Dr. Abza, as a deputy deans of the research and postgraduate, if you have one or two words that you want to share with the participants, thanks.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you for the organizing this event from the committee. So, but I think it's a very to make it cut short. So I think this program should be give some sort of the good exposure to the new or potential students to undergo the next level of their education, which is the master program, either by research or by top course or PhD. I think maybe in the future we will try to organize this kind of event for more and try to focus on the dedicated or specific topic which is in line to the good of the student. For example, how to prepare for your first physical or online interview session, that kind of session, so that it can give some sort of the exposure from the both side, the interpretation of the student and also the interpretation from the employees. I mean, from the view of the director, perhaps. So it's just the opinion, randomly opinion. But then I think it's a good effort for the faculty to the student. And I think the big idea by having said that, what we're trying to mention, go for the study, just to equip ourselves to more competence or tangible evidence that we manage or have that kind of skill or knowledge. So knowing that from time to time the economy or the environment or the life become stringent. I mean, in terms of the competitiveness. So we will try to equip by ourselves by having this kind of opportunity or requirement, so that maybe for the future it goes to all our students, inshallah. So with that, I will end my speech. But then, thanks a lot to all the organizer and also for the beloved participant, especially student in UTM. Thank you very much. IRTS Dr. Zaid.
All right, thank you, Dr. Muhammad Zanizam, for your short and precise closing. Right, so I really appreciate that one. So again, on the behalf of faculty, I also want to thank to all of the participants for coming, sharing your time here for almost 2 hours, right? So, but I really believe that what you get today is really the amazing input for all of you, right? Because this is direct sharing from the directors of technicals, right? So you really have a really good input today, inshallah. Right. So for Ignatius Wong, we are taking note on that, right? So maybe we can consider in future for the topics of resume writing skill and technique, right? Inshallah. Right. So by the way, thanks to all of you. Right. So thanks for coming. So I think we will end up our session here. Right. Really good. All the best for your coming future. Right. Thank you. Thank you all. So for
Terima kasih
Dr.
semua.
Ridwan and Dr. Abzal Nizam, you can stay for a while. Things we discussed.
Okay, baik. Terima kasih semua participant. All the best.